as we constantly try to listen. So we're going to start off by going through embed. So now, obviously, we've always been able to embed YouTube videos. Okay, so what this now allows us to do, any other websites that allow embedding, so things like Microsoft Forms, Google Forms, online just general stuff that's online with no logins and bits and pieces, things like your websites. So there's going to be a demonstration of, like, say your prices have been updated or whatever it is on the website. You don't need to do them twice. We can just link into it, that type of stuff. What this allows us to do is, it means that we don't need to do duplication of tasks somewhere else. If we've done them once, we can have it link into this. They can see exactly live what's happening. Unmanned gyms, that type of stuff. If you've got online cameras and bits and pieces, all that type of stuff can all fall into tasks or procedures going forward. Of course, you'll see within our support videos that we do scribes and gammas and different sorts of documents to make things a little bit sexier than the normal. All those type of things will all just fall straight into product. These will also be available in tasks and procedures. So within the task area that you sign off, it'll be in there. And obviously in procedures, you can drop stuff in. So like we were saying before, if you want to have a holiday form in your holiday procedure, then if it's on Microsoft Forms or Google or something like that, or any other sort of online form that you can embed, then you can simply add that into the system. They'll go there, they'll fill the form out. You'll get the email as normal, but I'll show you what it looks like when we go through. Okay, photos to problems. So what this basically is you'll probably know a while back that we created loads of storage. So we could have done this years ago, but it takes up lots and lots of space on the system, especially with all these new fandangled phones that people have. So my sort of task to Greg was, look, I want you to go and be able to find a way where we can create photographs and store that's not going to kill people for storage. So what we did a little while back is Greg went away, done his magic, and he's created this thing called S3 buckets. I'm not going to get stuck into the science behind it, but it basically allows us to be able to do this without charging the storage, not getting sort of costing us too much. So that means we don't have to pass those costs on to yourselves. Now, you'll notice if you ever go into if you go into organization, then you go into manage area, and then there's a little button on the top right. And we've created a space where all your pictures go, and we add that to you all free of charge. We thought that was really important. We didn't want you to come on board, come onto this, and then go, oh, there's going to be more costs, etc. But Greg's done a load of work on this, and it's really, really powerful. So we can store all that stuff in one space for you. So now, if you can imagine when you're doing your walk rounds, let's say there's the example you can see here, we've got just on the right is the toilet seat is broken. You'll physically be able, with your tablets, with your mobile phones, be able to take a photograph there and then of the problem. Where this will come in really handy, if you can imagine the maintenance man comes in and you say the light's gone. In the past, you would have said light's broken. Now you'll be able to go, it's that light. He'll know what fitting it is. He'll probably know what bulb he needs. And he can come prepared for the job rather than have to come and look at it and check out what he needs, that type of stuff. So it massively, massively will improve the communications. And then throughout the whole process, whereas in the past you will have just had content saying, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. Now you can see here, you can add new photographs off your computer, off your phone, wherever you want, in terms of making sure that we can get these things updated. Already in my normal manner, the first time Greg showed me this, I found a few other ways that we could use this. So there may be, I know a good example of this might be, I know that Susie in Aquaparks takes a photograph of the site every day, so they can monitor what the weather looks like and that type of stuff. So you'd be able to go to a problem, add this in, saying weather for today, put it in, close it off, and it would always be in there, and it'd be in the logs whenever you needed it. So little things like that, this will be really, really powerful for making sure we improve the communication and seeing that things are fully completed and knowing what they look like. So that's really good. Costings. So this is, we tried to build this to make it as easy as possible for you to set up. So the way that we've done this, now only the people who will see the costings that teams are on will be the people who've got the key to the HR cabinet. So the people who have the key or the org-wide sort of rights will be able to add. So every team, there'll be a little section where you can add a cost for that team, right? And if you remember, we used to always have a minimum timer. but with the minimum timer, you have to turn it on. Now there's an ability to put in the minimum time that this should take. So let's just say it's a pool test as an example, or it's a one-to-one, whatever it is that you're building into the system. You will basically say, so each team will have a cost allocated against them. And the minimum timer, if it's a pool test, it might say 10 minutes. Okay, this will then work out how much it costs. You have the way that Greg's built this, you will have the ability to go back and select past date ranges, which is really, really powerful. So we can see the cost of completion. So this will be the first part of the task. This is the only bit that we're still building, but everything else I'm going to show you live in the actual task. So in here, you can go in, select the date range. You can then select the task group, or you can go into the individual tasks and just pick out the tasks you want. So imagine I'm in a university, or I'm in a any sort of building, and I'm cleaning a particular room every day. I'll be able to see how much that costs, and then we can have a look at the higher cost for that room and see whether it's generating us enough revenue to cover our costs. So when we start making little changes or tweaks, a really good example of this is, if you're pretending to check your toilets every single hour, well, one, this will show you how many you're missing, and then the cost of what that is as well. So this is really, really powerful. Now, the key behind this is that when we're missing things at the minute, so let's say I've got a cleaner and I'm looking at the cleaner's tasks. If they've missed some tasks off this week, now I would understand that if we were short on staff. But if we've got all the staffing that we need and they haven't done it, I'd probably want to know where that 6 hours of time's gone. Okay. So again, there's really, really powerful data in here, which is really handy. Now, the average cost, this basically comes from, so each individual tag, if you select this for a group, you'll have that heading that you've just seen on the top. So you'll have this heading on the top, and then you'll have this for every single task that you've selected within that group. Now, why we built it in this way, which is really important, is if the wrong people are doing jobs. So when I do my consultancy, a lot of the time, the managers will be saying, doing all the jobs that the leisure assistants are meant to do. Well, if they do that, your average cost of completion, okay, so this little bit here, this average cost of completion will rise or change. So each month, if this is changing, it might be because the wrong people are doing the wrong jobs. Okay, so really, really important that you can keep an eye on this. And if it's meant to be a leisure assistant that's doing the job, I understand if the manager's done it once or twice, but it's amazing when you go back and look, do I need someone who's getting paid quite a lot of money to be doing really simple tasks? It might be a way that you can analyze the business and maybe save things going forward. We all know we're in an environment where we have to try and save stuff. So I think this is just so powerful in terms of looking at things. And it's been amazing that when me and Greg were having to play with it, it really does start to hit home that changes could easily be made in certain areas. Okay. Import from docx. So I've got, obviously this is basically when you're starting the system now I know most of you are already started, I get that, but the key is we know what it's like when you're uploading stuff and trying to copy and paste, and some things aren't working, that type of stuff. So again, Greg's done this sort of amazing bit of work, and I'll show you this happening live in the demo in a second. But this basically, you'll go, when you're uploading, there's a button to say upload from Word, you go and collect the documents and it will spit it in. Now, of course, if you're trying to input a 72-page document, it's still going to be too large for it, so we'll still need to break it down to the sizes that we need. But the key behind this is it'll speed things up. That onboard, when a new procedure comes out, this will really, really speed things up for you. And it's any docx document, not just Word. So if you're using Open Word or Google Docs, then it'll work. So again, really, really key. Excellent. Easy linking of documents. So in the past, what you had to do is you had to probably open 2 browsers, copy one of the risk assessments headings, and then add it into a procedure. Again, it was a little bit painful. So what we've done now is that procedures can link to risk assessments and all docs, and tasks are linked to risk assessments, procedures, and all docs. So basically, when you go into, whereas you would have gone into link before, there's a little drop down, and then a drop down of all your risk assessments, all your procedures, and all your all docs are in there. So you can go this one, add another one, this one, and it just makes it so much quicker. The way that we built this in is we've added them into tables in the demo that we've done, just to make it stand out a little bit more. But This is about, let's say there's a particular accident. If I go to that task, I can see sort of everything that's related to that task in terms of the risk and the procedures and that type of stuff. So it makes it a hell of a lot easier for us to make sure that we can get these changes done, and show the courts and everyone else that we've done things in the right way. So the rest of the other bits. So what we noticed in the system is the most popular document or the most popular picture that you have is your logo. So what basically happens now, the logo that you have on your main site is also, when you come in to add an image, there's a little drop down image list where you'll click on logo and it will automatically just put the logo in. So this just makes that a hell of a lot quicker rather than having to go find the file and move around. What we found is because people want to brand these and make them look a little bit sexier than the old documents that they've probably copied from paper, this just means that your logo is the most popular one. So we've created that just to speed things up. This next one is, okay, so documents, all documents now have an expiry date. So this means that they will, of course they were in there, but now you can see by the color coding, it tells you whether they're out of date or not. So this just gives you that view where you can see it. It's like, right, I need to do the insurance because it's coming up, that type of stuff. So that will really speed things up. And there's an old report that we brought back for anyone who was with us in version 1. And this is basically the staff completed report. So you can now run a report, pick out certain members, like it might be your duty manager team, and it will give you an overview of exactly what they've completed, how many problems they found, and how many problems they've solved during that particular time frame that you've ran the report for. Okay, so again, really, really handy on, I always talk about when I do my demos at the beginning about when I do the consultancy, and this particular lady said, I'm the only one that does anything. Well, this is for you managers, this gives you that think, I know exactly who's doing what and what they've done in that sort of time frame. So really, really powerful. And what's really good about this is not only does it say whether they're completing the tasks, but you'll start to see the people who are finding problems and who are not. Right now, every time I go into organizations, I find problems, you know, whether it's spiders webs, whether it's the bins dirty, whether it's marks on walls, whether it's things drawn on the back of doors in changing rooms, whether it's chewy stuck in corners, whatever it may be. So I expect lots of people to find problems in the organization, but this will really, really show you who's doing that and when. You can now put emojis and bullet points in. We're trying to go a bit cool. So the idea behind it is that we know that some people, you might want to put like certain things into your procedures, or you might want to put a big eye on it. So please look at this bit, that type of stuff, just to try and make them a little bit more creative than what they could normally look like. So you've got a whole host of things in there. And we also did a lot. So Polly, I remember when we were doing some stuff with Thrive originally, we couldn't quite get the bullet points that they had. So we've done a load of work so they can now get the bullet points, and you can have letters and numbers and whatever you want to fit in there. So all that now comes part and parcel. Now, all this is part of the version 5. Now, the next bit are version 4 upgrades. So if you're not looking to upgrade, then these bits will come anyway. So the risk assessment logs have just been sexified up a little tiny bit. The procedures log, if you remember, they used to have a before and after. But in the before and after, it was hard really to see what changes had happened. But now it has a bit like the risk assessment where it has the red and the green. So it's green if it's been added and it's red if it's been taken away. And I'll show you what all this looks like in a minute. Anyone that ran any task log reports, they will probably been made aware that you could only get up to 100 bits of data on the online. But what Greg's done now, it's what's called pagination or pagination, where we can now, it will show you how many you've got, because there'll be a load of pages with 60 on along the bottom. Another one that was asked for, I think, by yourself, Chris Hurst, again, mate, which was resetting task instructions. So if we change the way we do the task, you can now re-ask staff to reread and understand. So especially if there's been an accident or something's happened and you've tweaked or changed the actual task. So that's now been brought in. You can add minimum timers without having to enforce them, and a longer weighted one, because we get quite a lot of emails of people saying someone's got married and they changed their email. Can you change it for them? So they can now change their email themselves, built into the system. So every single person will get these, And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into the product, and let me put them down. And I'm now going to start to show you some of the bits and pieces that I've just been talking through. So first and foremost, what you'll see is here in the doc stage is this is where your documents will be, and this is where the color coding will be. So any organizational documents that you've got, all in there, and you'll have the color coding in there so you know whether they're going to due to expire or whether they're not going to expire. Really handy. This happened with us as well. I'll be honest, where our insurance, we forgot to update it because it hadn't changed color. So thank you very much for that one, Greggy boy. Bonus one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into the demo. Okay, so I'm going to, in risk assessments, there's only a couple of logs and bits which have changed, but in general, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take you to procedures and start showing you what some of these things will look like. So in here is a procedure. So in this procedure, what I've done now, just to make you aware, the system I'm working on is slower than the live one that you use. So it won't take as long for you, but in general. So what I've done here, I've added a scribe. Okay, so in here, we've embedded the document, and now it's actually, so rather than clicking this and going out, it keeps you in the product to be able to do stuff. So you can build things like scribes in there. That's absolutely fine. I've also put an example in here of a gamma document. So if you want to make things look a little tiny bit better, you've got the option to do this. Or let's say you've got documents which are, you know, live on websites and things like that, then we can embed those. So we only have to update it in that one place. But if any of these policies or these different things change, I still have that option to be able to go in and so when I come into here, I still have the option to be able to ask people to read it again. You know, I've made some changes on the website, blah, 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 update, have a quick look, please. So the key behind it, you'll see in here, there's now a new button, which is in here. So what you've got is you can embed your video as you normally would, or you click on here and you paste in your embed code. Really, really simple, dead easy to do. And obviously when you come on board, we'll put all the training videos together and everything else that comes with this. But most things that you'll have, you'll go to share, you'll go to embed. I'll give you an example now. If I go to Gamma and I go to the leisure document. So when you go into one of these, what you'll find is when you want to share something like this, you'll go to share or you'll go to embed, you'll copy that embed code. You'll then go back into the product, you'll paste that in, you'll click save, and it spits it straight into the document. So dead easy to do, just like the videos, bits and pieces, but the key behind it is that you've got a hell of a lot more control of different things that you can do. Okay, love that one. So I'm not going to do that save. Other types of things that you can put in. So this one is a DSE assessment. So within our organization, every year, everyone who uses a tablet, a computer, or a mobile has to fill out one of these forms. So they go through the training as they would, and then at the bottom, please don't sign off until you've completed the form. They now come in and they start to complete the form. But this is live in the product now, so it doesn't take them out and jump them elsewhere. Now, in terms of GDPR, don't get worried, because this still acts as a Microsoft form. So the manager will still be informed that this has gone in, and it will still be on a protected shared drive if that's where you want the data to go. Okay, so the answers I put on this are not going to be available in the OpsPal product. Okay, so this is, but it's really powerful that this now means you can literally drop anything you like into these in this sense. So again, really, really good, really shows a few different things. Okay, what other things? Oh, so this is a really good example of, so let's say, for instance, this is an example of Reading University. They've just put their prices up and they want the staff to be made aware of it. They've done it on the website. And so now the key behind it, all they did, this is a live website that's built in. So the live website is in there and everything is up. So they've updated it in that one place. They don't need to do something else for the staff. Okay, they update it in that one place, and this is all live and in there. This might be your class timetable. This might be any information that you've got on your website. Okay, so anything that you've got on your website that you might want your staff to keep read or update or do little tweaks for is really, really powerful. So yeah, that all gets brought in, which is amazing. Other bits and pieces. So the upload, I'm going to show you an example of an upload document. So here's an example of an environmental policy. Okay, so it's got a table in, it's got a few pictures in, bits and pieces. Now I'm going to go into edit and I'm going to delete this. And I'm going to show you how quick this would now be. So I come into here, I'm going to put test in there. I've created it today. I'll review it a year from today. I click on the Word upload button. It then tells me to go and choose my file. So in here, I want to do the environmental policy. I click on that. I click on import. And the pictures have come in, the tables come in, and it's all in. So in terms of speeding things up for you, this just makes it so quick. You know, in terms of getting in like an NOP or something like that now, it's minutes, right? It's sort of is that quick. So you'd go in, you'd add your category in. I'm going to call it test. Select owner, Craig Campbell. I'm then going to save that as per usual, add my users, and that's how quick it is to get someone live on a document. Okay, so the upload function is now, we're saying it's about 90%. Now, the reason why we're saying it's about 90% compatible, it depends on how it got into Word. If you just built something directly into Word, there's a likelihood you're going to have no problem at all. If you pasted things in from PDFs and other pictures and from all over the place, it may struggle a little bit. But we'll be honest, we haven't really found any problems. So, but it's not 100%, but it's a hell of a lot better than copy and paste was. Yeah. Anyone who did that in the past. So hopefully you'll see that, which is brilliant. Other things that we've got, so bullet points and emojis, you can just put them in, AI, you get the idea, you can just fill those in as and when you need them. As you come into the edit, okay, so there's a little thing over here. Obviously, you can then pick your people, your animals, your bits and pieces. So all the different things, it gives you a load of different options just to make them just look a little bit. Sometimes people use things like the eye, or it might be the little flag to say, make sure you read this bit, this is important, or whatever. It just gets away from just using colours. And like you say, the bullet points are in here. You've got all different options now for different levels, depending on what it is you want. So this comes again, really, really powerful. You know, we've got a few law firms, a few HR companies who want everything to look a particular way. So now it can look however you want it. And it also means when you copy those things in, it will copy in a way where it will be able to match them. So you can see here, 1A, AI, 2, blah, blah, blah. So really, really good, amazing. Other things that we've got in here, let's have a look. So the logs, let me just show you how they change. So if I go into the log for this particular one, so you still get this up here. So I don't know if you can see this slight green on there because I've added in a step-by-step guide. If I go back in and look at the previous changes that we've done in there, so red has been taken away. So it used to be bullet points and we've made it numbers, but you get the idea. Everything you take away in terms of showing the courts or showing staff the training and then seeing what the differences are, instead of just having 2 documents and having to read through them all, this now does pretty much what the old risk assessments used to do. So they're all the same. They're all the same method. We just thought this was a stronger method to be able to show and prove to the courts. So that's all in there. Now I'm just checking. Okay, link lists. We've got a link list in here as well, I believe. So here's the fire evacuation. What we've done is we've built a table, and in here we've linked this. So here's the electrical safety documents. If I click on arson and fire, it will take me straight to that one. So it just makes it much easier for the staff to be informed or for you to develop staff. So it might be some leadership stuff, and there might be further reading or things that you want them to look at if you want to get even more details of what you've done. So this becomes, and again, dead easy to do now. Oh my God, wrong button. Let me go back into that one and go into edit. So if I go into here, I have a lazy tab, I go into there, I click on link. In here, I have an option for linked list. I want to link an org doc or a risk assessment. So if it's a risk assessment and I want to do the sodium hypo one, I'd click on that, click on save, and it's now in there. And what we're doing in here is just putting RA in there or whatever it is, just so people know the documents or the documentation that they're there. But this just allows you to link these things together with so much more speed. in the past, you would have had to go and find the procedure, copy it from up here, paste it in, and it just got a bit messy. So it could be done, but it was a workaround. So we fixed the workaround, and now hopefully you can see that will work like a dream. Okay. Oh, quick logo add. I haven't shown you that one, have I? Let's add a logo into this one. Let me delete that one. And in here, so go to picture as I normally would. In here, where it says image list, I click on old logo, click on save, and the logo is now in. So again, it just means that because it's the most popular one, you'd simply just go in as if you were adding a normal picture, click on the image list, click on the logo, click on save, and it's in. So nice and easy, does all that for you. Now, if it's already in your documents that you're uploading, luckily enough, we'll already be able to spit that in because our Word uploader will sort that out for you. But hopefully you can see that just speeds up those side of things, which is amazing. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to jump. I'm not going to save that, that's fine. And I'm going to jump into tasks. And I've made a group in here called V5. So this is so we can demo these things. So I know when I used to be in LA Fitness, we used to have to monitor the pool, but we didn't have lifeguards, right? So, or there might be certain rooms that you have to view or whatever it may be. So what you're doing here, you'd have a task. Now in here, look, you can see we've got emojis in there, count how many people are in there. This is a live camera. Okay, so if it's live online, then you can get hold of this. This is a live embed. So in this particular pool now it's closed, right? Brilliant. I can do that in there. I could even take I could even go to problem if I have my phone and take a photograph of it and add it in, say, look, there was no one in there. Here's the proof, whatever you want to do. But the key behind it, this is literally live now. It was funny yesterday. I was doing a demo and I could see all the school kids coming in on the far side. So it's really, really handy. Now I should imagine, I know some organisations have got to do counts in rooms and different things like that. So this just opens up a whole new ball game of how we can do that stuff. Oh, sorry, that was my fault, Greg. Greg will be telling me off because I never went back. Now universities, I know we've got quite a few of those on, but every now and again you might have to do things like update your book scores. So you come into here. The book's website has been linked in. So this is all live off the book's website. And then I've got to update is it the vice chairman, Greg? Vice chairman. I've got to make sure I've updated the board on reception. Chancellor, that's the one, yeah. And I've updated our website so we all know. So I go in, I sign those things off. This is all live. I sign the problem off. Done. Okay. It pops back up the week next after the next lot of results tick in. All right. So really, really powerful. Again, the link lists in here, dead handy. So in here, I can link to org docs, risk assessments and procedures if I need to. So you can add them in wherever you need. Just makes it so much more succinct. Really quick, just like I did in the procedures, if I'm being honest. It's the same drop down that you build into this particular bit. So that's amazing. Lifeguard training. So let's say you're doing this via Microsoft Forms and that's how you log in. You'd come into here. This would be where your Microsoft form is. Here's the date of the training. So I did the training on Wednesday. My name is Craig. Who was the tutor? That was Bob. Duration, we did 2 hours. Okay. And because it is January, we did hazards and spotted. We also did this in the pool, the unconscious casualty. CPR, we covered this. And for first aid, we covered bleeding and this. Was there anything new? No. You'd have your staff team members here and you go, right, they turned up. In team 2, they turned up. And in team 3, they turned up. Submit, the manager gets a copy and it's all done nice and sweet in one place. Okay. So the key behind it is this ability to be able to log these things in there. I can now say, right, I've completed the lifeguard delivery. I might send out a link to do it individually. You could build that into here as well if you wanted. Click on that, sign off the task. That's done for another month. And we'll have a full log of that all happening, which is amazing. Another thing that we've added in is, so within here, you'll now see that if we have a look at when this is due. Okay, so if I go into the edit, and I come down to here. So now you can pick a specific day of the month So that might be third Tuesday, last Friday, last Monday, whatever you want in the system. Some people get confused because there's a 4 and a 5 week. Now, if you put it on the fourth Friday of every week, some months it'll be the last Friday, some months it won't because there's 5. So you get the idea. That's all been built in for you. So we know that we had some I know Glasgow University as an example. They had certain tasks that they used to copy the task and copy it 12 times for the year because they wanted it on the first Monday. And we couldn't do that previously. So now that's all been built in there. So on that drop down, you've got intervals multiple times a day and your specific week or day of the month, which will make the planning just that little bit more succinct for you. Really handy for board reports, that type of stuff, and any sorts of things that you need to chase, first aid, whatever it may be. So that's really good, really powerful. Let's have a look at what else I've got in there. Let's go back that way, it's just quicker. And V5, okay. Yeah, I want to undo that and then do it again. So the book score we've done. Oh, so the recording of problems. So I would come into here. Now, like I say, when you click this, so when you click recording the problems down here, if you're on your phone, it will say you'll click add picture and it will allow you to take it directly from your phone, right? So you'll come into here, you'll write in your problem, you'll click on photograph. Now I'm on a computer, so therefore it will only, let's say it was the toilet seat broken and I've got a copy of that, I can then add it in. But if I'm on my phone, I can physically take, or a tablet, I can physically take the photograph there and then. So it's live. We then add in, so I'm just going to say test. I've actually got one of these built into the system already. So I'm going to update that with a new one in a minute. Action required from user, go to Greg. Can you do this, please, Greg? Lovely jubbly. That's now been sent and he'll get a copy of that picture as he's there. Now, if you can see in the log down here, there's only one here for toilet seat broken, right? So if I click on this, it will take me, if I click on update, if I click on this little picture, it will take me to the picture so I can see it and it takes me into the product. Now I want to update this. Okay, so action required from, so I'm going to say it's solved. Fixed new one, and I'm going to update the picture to the fixed toilet seat. And I'm going to update that. Now, what basically happens in the logs is if I go to the open check toilet seat that I've just completed, you can see here you've got the broken stuff. So this it takes you on the journey, if that makes sense. Yeah, it takes you on the journey. You can see what it looks like. I can see what that this room is disgusting problem. Here's what it looks like now. It's finished. It's completed. The whole idea behind it, it just means that you've got that journey and we can take people on that, which is again really, really, really powerful.
Greg,
yeah.
Susie's got her hand up. Susie, do you want to unmute?
Hi, yeah, sorry, it was just one quick question. Where obviously you've added the ability to add pictures to problems, which is great. Yeah. And you mentioned earlier how we like to take a picture on our daily checks at the end of it every day to say this is how the park looks pre-opening. Do we also have the ability to add a picture that's not assigned to a problem?
So what you would basically do is you'd go in, but you wouldn't write toilet seat broken. You'd say end of day report for that particular one. So you'd say end of day pick. And so the only way we can add pictures at the moment is problems. Okay, but I did one the other day of that pool when I was doing I took a photograph of the pool as I was working on it. I saved that in, copied it in, and it's still a log in there. Now, so you can still take the photograph, but it would be allocated to a problem. But in terms of in the logs, Susie, if you then went into the logs and you had your end of day report, all those
it's not photographs end of day. Yeah, no, this is pre-opening. So it's part of our pre-opening checks.
Yeah. So when you go into the logs, what you'll find in there, you'll go to your user activity log. You then pick the date range you want. You pick that task, and then all the photographs would be in this one place. Does that make sense? So it would still be allocated next to a problem, but it's simple enough to do for you to be able to do it and to have all the data in one place. I'll walk you through it. I'll walk you through once it's sort of up and running and live with you. But the key is you'll take a quick photograph, add it to the system, and then just solve it off.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that okay? Yeah.
Yeah. I understand. Yeah. No worries. Thanks.
Okay. So the other thing that we have is we have the user activity graph. So in here, I can go Craig Campbell, Dawn and Greg, and I want to look for the last 24 hours, last 7 days, last 14, whatever it may be. And I click generate. I then get a report to go, wait there. So Craig's done the most tasks but hasn't found any problems. It just gives me that really good insight as to what's happening and what's not across the organization. This is actually gold dust for like one-to-ones or team meetings and things like that. When you flash the real one of these up in a team meeting, it's like, so wait there. So you've done 47 things and you've done 6. It really is an eye opener to make sure that people. It's good for giving pats on the back, but like I said before, this is really important for me, is that people are walking around with their eyes open so they can see these different bits and pieces which are in there. But yeah, it's an absolute sort of game changer in that sense. In the logs again, Greg, this is a before and after, isn't it? Sorry, mate. So if I go into the user activity, like when things change, Greg, this will go red and green in there, won't it? If there's been tweaks or changes in there. I haven't prepared one of them, mate. So it's no, that's why I haven't shown that.
It just shows the new task configuration, so it shows it.
Yeah, it shows the new one in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think, Greg, I've covered everything.
I think so.
Okay, so do we have any more questions or any more things you would like me to show or talk or go through on the process of doing that? Now, this system is looking to go live by the end of Feb. Obviously, we've got a referral campaign, so anyone that refers us to anyone will basically get this. They can get this free of charge. You've probably seen those emails that were already coming out for you, which is brilliant. There's some organisations who've already recommended us, so of course they've already been spoken to, and they will be getting the upgrade free of charge. Now, the way that we normally work is that we want to make sure that our existing customers get everything cheaper than any new customers, right? So as of March, the price for our product goes up by our base product goes up by £1,000 based on all this new functionality. So we always say that the new people pay for the product. Now, the cost for yourselves are all on massive savings. So a main site goes up by 1,000, the small site goes up by 250, blah blah blah. But what we're doing with yourself is nowhere near that. So if any of you are interested and want to see what the upgrade costs are, please just send us an email, give us a call, whatever you like, and we can talk them through with you. But it's seriously buttons in order to do it.
We've got a couple of questions just coming through.
Yeah, I'll come on to them in a second, Dawn. So that's cool.
Okay.
And what we've also done is that, so this is version 5. We're just in discussions now on what's happening with version 6, but it looks like the version 6 upgrade will be free for all those that have upgraded to 5 anyway. Is that right, Greg? Like that. So the next upgrade, the next big upgrade that we've got planned, which will sort of, it's massive again, it's really handy. But that will be a free upgrade. So the odd numbers will be there'll be a small charge for existing customers. The even numbers, there's a likelihood that that'll be they'll be the free ones that we do. But hopefully you can see there's a lot of changes in there. So Dawn, start firing questions at me.
Yep, we've got Roy from BH Live. Roy, do you want to unmute, please?
Hi guys, it's actually Mel that's speaking.
Oh, Mel, hi.
On the user activity log, when you want to see what's been going on, who's been doing what, can you filter it out by task?
Yeah.
Or is it every activity that comes up?
No, whenever you go into any filters, so if I go to the user activity, I can filter by date, by types, I can filter it by groups, I can filter it by individual tasks, I can filter by teams or by people. So yeah, you can go down to any single level. If you know the date, who, where and when, we can get to it within about 15 to 30 seconds.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem at all. Any
Next
questions
one.
from anyone else?
Luigi from Surrey Sports Park.
Luigi, fire away, a new customer.
Yeah, being new, I don't know if this happens. You said we can put websites into the items that you've shown us, but are we able to have that open up in a full screen, or is it limited to the size of the screen that you were showing us?
You can change the size of so within the product. So let me just go to one.
So you were saying you could put a link to a website in there. Does it open up into a full size screen, or is it just limited to the size that you have when you demonstrated?
Let me show you an example in here.
To go a little bit technical on you, Luigi, as well, you can actually control that from within the embed code. So if the embed allows a full screen, then it will expand and react similar to how it would on the real website.
Yeah, what we'll sort of teach you for this, Luigi, is that, let's say, so obviously you've got certain things that can naturally embed, so the likes of scribes, scammers, these type of things, where you'll get the actual code and it will just spit it in. Okay, but what you'll also have, when you want to just do a website, we'll sort of walk through these things called, it's like an iframe generator. So in here you can say scroll bar size, so you can control the website size that goes in. But within the product as well, if it's a self-generated one like this, you can drag and drop the size of it, so it'll be as big or as small as you'd need to.
You
so
can adjust
hopefully
the
that answers those questions.
Okay, thank you.
No more
Anybody
hands
else
up.
got
Any more questions?
Is any more in the chat, Dawn? Have we done those, mate?
No, everybody's been putting their hand up, which has been great.
Yeah, so yeah, the recording will be shared. That'll be absolutely fine. So one last question, Greg, if you could do the poll for us, that'd be muchio appreciatio. Just what are your thoughts? What do you think on what we produced? Is it going to be handy? Is it going to make it better for you? Is it, you know, what's your thoughts on what we're doing? Okay, so it looks like you're liking what we're doing. I'll take that. I'll take that. Well, yeah, that's absolutely brilliant. Like you say, this will be rolling out. Dornan will be giving people a call just to see what you want to do, whether you want to upgrade to it or not. Like I say, I'll give you an example. So yeah, I won't give you an example because they're all different. Obviously, you're all different organisations. We've took into account the cost that you pay, so you're not paying a generic fee like the new people will. So again, hopefully you'll see that it's like we've done with everything, you know, the likes of, you know, some of the people who came on in version 1, you know, version 1 to version 4 was massive and we never did any charges for those. The amount of work that's gone into this in the background is probably 9 to 10 months worth of sort of Greg's time. So this is really, really big, some of the stuff that we've done. So hopefully you can, but you'll see in the costings when you speak to us, we're really not trying to strangle the pips out of people, right? That's not what we're looking to do. So yeah, please, you know, get in touch with Dawn and myself. We'll happily talk you through what happens next. And hopefully you can see we're constantly trying to improve and make the product better at all times. Anyone that had any of the outstanding support queries that we fixed, we'll come back to you individually in those to say, look, this is going to be in version 5, this is going to be in version 5, etc., etc. As per usual, if you need us, then please contact us at any stage. You know, we're always available. Hopefully you all know that if you need us to jump on or if you've got any problems, we do that pretty quick. So yeah, please don't stop utilizing us. If you need any help whatsoever, we're always here and we just can't wait to help you get better at what you do. People, it's been a pleasure. I sign off and I'll speak to you soon.
Cheers, Craig.
Thank you. Ta-ra.
Thanks so much.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye, thanks.
Thanks, Craig. Thanks, Greg, guys.
Thank you.
Tell Dawn to click. Can we kick that out?
Yeah, let's remove the guy, and then if we leave it will end. Remove from meeting. I've done it, mate.
Okay, cool. Right, let's leave and let's have a chat.